Classic Hits Forever.
Indeed it is. It is our only chance. I'm going to change gear after that few minutes there. We'll yes, all you need is love. Let's get rid of all the prejudice and the givey-outy about everybody else, because all you need is love. And I'm delighted that we can be joined on the air by Jennifer Haskins, who's the introductions director of Two's Company. Jennifer, how are you doing?
I'm great, and you, Dave?
A happy Valentine's Day to you.
And happy Valentine's Day to you, and it's a lovely day.
It's a lovely day. It's a lovely day. It's good to be alive. The sun isn't quite shining, but, listen, we're having a chat. Let's get straight into this, because I want to get through a few things with you. A lot of people, and we want to talk about Two's Company and the fact that you're an introductions and dating service. People are concerned, I suppose, to give too much of themselves out. Do you know what I'm saying? They're concerned that if they blow their cover and they go to a dating agency or an online situation or whatever it might be, that they're kind of blowing their cover. Do you know what I'm saying? Is that a concern?
That's totally understandable.
Is it a concern?
Well, it is. A lot of people that come to us, that'd be a real concern for them. And I suppose that's why they come to an agency, because, believe it or not, it's so private. Everything about you is kept confidential, other than, details like whether you're single or separated or divorced or whatever. But other than that, things like where you work, where you live, your surname. So nobody can be Googled. Nobody can be looked up on Facebook. So it is private.
Okay. Yeah. Whereas these sites you go on to, and particularly the ones where you don't pay a subscription fee. I've never done it, actually. I've never done it, but I'm not in the game, as it were, if you know what I mean.
Right. But you're a lucky man.
If you but the ones you go on and they go, there is a talk about that if you go on and you're for example, not paying a fee, it's one of these almost a hookup thing. It's a sort of a no strings attached type scenario.
Yeah. Your picture is up there for everybody to see, and, unfortunately for a lot of people that come to us, that's just not an option.
Right.
I mean, for example, even yourself, if you were in the market...
Well, let's assume I was. Okay, let's assume I was. Right. Yeah. What, and I came to you, what would you say to me? Other than you're a dashingly handsome-looking man. I mean, apart from that, what would you say to me?
Oh, well, apart from that, obviously, you'd have so much... what I would say to you is,
You're delusional. You're delusional, mate. That's what you are.
They're queuing up outside the door as we speak.
I know. Okay, so I'm a typical guy comes to you. What happens? What's the first thing happens?
Well, initially what we do is we just arrange to meet. So it's very casual, because, it's more about me getting a sense of who I'm talking to and what they're about. So we go over everything from maybe the time they were born, what their education background is like, what they've worked at. And obviously then, well, look, what type of relationship are you looking for? Now, in saying that, we do not get people coming to us unless they're kind of looking for a relationship. We don't get people looking for one-night stand or a fling.
And you wouldn't go for that anyway, would you?
No, we don't.
No,
I mean, people aren't going to come and go through an interview process and open up to me, talk to me, and tell me all their details.
Yes. They're not going to do that and then say, I'm looking for a blonde who's 24 and she's a goer. I mean, I'm being very blunt when I say that. You'll be saying, well, get out, off you go, on your way.
Well, the internet is fine for that. The internet is actually perfect. If people just want to get out there and do lots of dating and sort of see lots of people and juggle them around. But for us, we tend to get people who are saying, look, I've done all that. I've done the bar scene. I've done the nightclub scene. I really don't want that anymore. And I would like a relationship.
Right.
So they're looking for something a little bit more substantial than...
Okay, so let's say you find a guy, late 30s, okay, single, doing quite well, handsome enough, average kind of guy, well-spoken, maybe got a good sense of humour and so on. I mean, what sort of... Are you looking for somebody who matches him on the female side, exactly the pattern that fits his positives? Or are you looking for someone to complement him? Which way does it work best?
Well, to be honest with you, there isn't any sort of one thing. There's no, what would I call it, just one element that makes it work, because it is going to be down to chemistry. So you've got to look and like what you see when you meet the person. So that's very important. And chemistry is something that can't be created because it's very subjective. But what I do is I take into account what the guy's height is, what his status is. If he's single, obviously he's probably looking to meet single girls. Where if he's separated or widowed or divorced, that may, he may be much more open to meeting people from the same status as himself.
Right, yeah.
But single guys want to meet single girls. Height is a factor, so depending on his height, there's no point in me introducing a guy who's 5'5" to a girl who's 5'10" or 11. That's not going to work. So we have to get the fundamental things out of the way first, and that is things like status, height, educational background, values, hobbies, interests, kind of career they have. We can get people from a very academic background with doctorates and PhDs, and equally we can get somebody who's working, in the local supermarket or the bank or the civil service. And I'm not saying that, there's a huge comparison there, but we get people from all different walks of life.
Right across the board.
Right across the board, from about, 25, 26, and believe it or not, I wrote a blog on our website last night because our oldest member to date just died recently, and believe it or not, he was 80. And
fair play to him.
He was amazing, because people don't think, even in their older years, that agencies exist or that anybody would even be interested in meeting somebody of that age. But believe you me, as I say to people, as long as your heart is still beating, there is love out there.
As long as there's a pulse. Now,
as long as there's a pulse, you're right.
Look at the challenges now. I mean, what happens to the girls and the guys? And they get to a certain age, and that scene of being out there, hanging around bars, it wears a bit thin, really, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, we all do that in our 20s, and some people will continue doing
40s
it up to their 50s. Some will continue forever, the aged rockers. But no, I mean, the majority of people will do all that, and then they come to kind of their 30s, and maybe, they've got the good job, and they've done fairly well, and they suddenly think, well, okay, all my friends, they're all paired off, they're all married. It's not as easy to pick up the phone and say, hey, Dave, you going for a drink tonight? Because Dave's girlfriend or wife is in the background saying, look, I don't really want you going out on singles nights, going out and coming back at 2 a.m. So the single guy in the group gets very marginalised and can find himself thinking, well, okay, maybe it's time I start to settle down, look at the idea of marriage and children. So women have a time clock. Yes, of course they do. But men do too, because if a guy comes to me and he's in his mid-50s, and he's looking for a girl in her late 30s, I have to say, reality check. This just doesn't work. On average, girls will meet men up to a maximum of 10 years older, and that's a maximum.
Is it? Okay. But is that first time round, by the way? Sorry, I'm asking you that
because... first time round is. But no, in general, most people most women don't like to go more than 10 years. Obviously, men
they're afraid
will say
kick the bucket
as young
on
as they can get them.
But just on that, I mean, in terms of the ratio, I mean, I have this thing in my head that there's more women out there than there are guys. Is that right?
Do you know what? If you think about it, if two people separated, you've got two people out there, both now unattached. But the statistics will tell you that there are marginally more women than men. Not a huge amount, but I think what happens is it's just women are more proactive. Women tend to have this idea that, like, okay, if I want to find the love of my life, if I want to find a partner, I'll go out there and get it. Where it's easier for a man to go into a bar than it is for a woman. A woman's not going to go into a bar on her own.
No. But it's funny, I was saying to somebody, women have the advantage, they're usually better looking, they're usually, maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Listen, I know where we're going. I am being complimentary because I think Irish women are fab. I always did, yes.
They are, absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Jennifer, I'm going to have to go because it's coming up to news,
okay.
but where people can get you is twoscompany.ie. And that's the website, and everything's there. And it says, love just doesn't make the world go round. It is what makes the journey worthwhile. Isn't that nice?
Very well said.
Isn't that nice? All right. Okay. Pleasure to talk to you.